Hello everyone, it's Wednesday, time for a little Wisdom Wednesday. Hope you all are doing well. We've had quite a busy day here, kind of worn out, but at the end of the day, I just thought I'd talk to you a little bit about digestion and some of the reasons why many of you might be experiencing bloating after you eat. So I wanted to address that type of bloating that occurs after you eat within an hour or so, and not the kind that you're really kind of full for hours and hours, but just that bloaty feeling after you eat. And one of the reasons that this happens over time is that with aging, the particular ability of our body to break foods down, because we're not making as much stomach acid and we're not making as much of the enzymes that are necessary to break down foods. And so I kind of wanted to walk through digestion and give you an idea of then things that we can do to help. But let's talk about it. We've all heard about macronutrients. We've heard about carbohydrates, we've heard about proteins, and we've heard about fats. Well, these foods, as they enter our body, must be broken down. And the system within the body basically incorporates hydrochloric acid and enzymes. When we first take a bite of food, in particular carbohydrates, within the mouth, we all have an amylase, which breaks down typically starches into simple sugars. And then enzymes, for the most part, will break down amino acids from proteins. And then our fats break down into essential fatty acids. But initial digestion begins in the mouth, and for the most part, most of that is taking care of the carbohydrates. But down in the stomach, with hydrochloric acid and with digestive enzymes, the proteins in our blood, in our food, are broken down into simple amino acids. And as we age, we just don't have the mechanistic ability to break this down very well. One of the best illustrations is thinking of a protein like a string of pearls. And each of these pearls has to be broken down separately, and this would be considered amino acid. And then this is what passes into the small bowel and gives us the amino acids that we need for other things that are happening in the body, whether we're building proteins, whether we're making more enzymes, whether we're doing different types of mechanistic metabolism within the liver. All of these things are then being absorbed in the body to either create energy or the ability of the body to use these types of amino acids for building either muscle or helping replenish organs or replenishing our skin, whatever that may be. But these enzymes are very important. And of course, as I said, when we get older, we have less. And then with fats, most of the ability to break down fats has to do with lipases in our bile. And again, that can be sluggish and can be an issue. So one of the things that can be quite helpful for a lot of folks, and I know many people, you experience not only bloating, but you get reflux, and then we throw an antacid at you, or we put you on an inhibitor to block the ability of the body to have more acid. And the idea here is that we don't have too much acid, we have too little. And so food stays in the stomach longer and it can't move forward until it's fully broken down. And so if the stomach contracts, it's going to go back up in the esophagus. So one of the things that we have here, we have orthodigestzyme. And I like this product quite a bit because it also has some betaine hydrochloric acid in it. And for folks who have issues, it's great to take prior to meals. It has the ability to break down not only fats and carbohydrates, but it also has some oxbile in there, as well as all the enzymes for proteins. So this is a very comprehensive product made by Orthomolecular. We also have a really great product for just mostly peptides and proteins called Zymozyme. And this product really is great for a lot of the proteins in particular. And for folks who really deal a lot with sensitivities to dairy and with gluten and wheat, It's not permission, but this can definitely help if things start to slip into your diet. You've got at least a little bit of a backup in terms of having some enzymes. Because when you look at the literature, not one of us really has the enzymatic ability to break down gluten all the way and into essential amino acids. So we're all going to have some mild degree of issue with gluten. So just to kind of lay that out for you, if you are struggling with a lot of bloating, generally right after a meal, enzymes can be quite powerful, and they're generally better if you take them prior to a meal. I know a lot of folks are using apple cider vinegar, and that can be exceedingly helpful because that also turns on the mechanistic action of the pumps in your stomach to make more stomach acid and to help make more enzymes to break down food. So that can be powerful, but when that's not enough, these enzymes are quite good. And the other thing that's great about enzymes, these are considered digestive enzymes, but enzymes are also helpful when taken away from food to be absorbed into the body to help the body do a lot of the enzymatic work that it needs to do. And in particular, with joint issues, when we get bone spurs and things like that, can help to minimize those and to actually break some of those down if you're dealing with a lot of that. So just a little bit about enzymes. Next week, as long as everything kind of remains stable around here, I'm going to talk a little bit about bloating further down in the gastrointestinal tract and a problem called SIBO, or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. That can be quite a problem for a lot of folks as well. So just this week, thinking about ways that you can, first of all, improve digestion by slowing down, chewing your food, and maybe a little apple cider vinegar prior to a meal, and then digestive enzymes on top of that if you're really continuing to struggle. I like to keep them around. I carry some in my purse. I'm fortunate I don't get a lot of issues with either reflux or pain or bloating, but if I do go off the rails here and there, it's always nice to have something that's going to kick in and quickly help with digestion and get things rolling as far as the gut is concerned. Hope you all have a great week, and we'll talk again next week.